Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope that you all are feeling well. In our today's lecture, we will learn something about the theme of Romeo and Juliet. As we already know that this drama is about love affair. It was some kind of dominant romantic theme, and they expressed their intense passions about their love. It was something that supersedes all other values of their society. So for this love to each other, they were ready even to sacrifice their societies, their families, and their friends, and even the ruler. So it was a kind of intense love which did not bring them together, but forced them to some sort of separation. So it was just like a fire, not like a flower. For this love, they went to some kind of extreme end. As we know that we also face such kind of thing in our own society, that whenever we fail in some sort of law, that sometimes we resort to some kind of violent actions. Sometimes we commit a suicide, and sometimes we kill some other persons in our beloved family just because that we are unable to get our love. So same was the case with Romeo and Juliet drama written by Shakespeare. Because they know that they were in extreme love with each other. So to get their love, they were ready to go to any extreme, and they wanted to get their love at any cost. So for this love, they left their families, their parents, and their friends, and also their ruler, just because they wanted to marry each other at any cost, and they didn't want they should lose each other. And Romeo was in extreme love with Juliet, and Romeo can kill anybody who will come in the way of this love which he was doing with Juliet. Next, Shakespeare wanted to say that love is such kind of intense passion and emotions for which a person can go to any extreme. He can go to any end. So this was an intense emotions which Shakespeare wanted to share with all of the humanity. It was not something, Shakespeare was not interested in portraying a pride version of the emotions, the kind that most of the bad poets write about. Love in Romeo and Juliet is brutal, powerful emotions that captures the attention of the individuals in the world, and then this to achieve that love, they can go to any end, to any extremes level, and at times, sometimes they even turn against themselves, and they were forced to think that why they are going to fail in this love. So when they were at this stage, then they were thinking about some kind of suicidal actions, because they were unable to tolerate and to bear even the thought of separations from each other. Next, religions and magic. As we all have some kind of emotional attachment and love with our religion, Islam, so they were also, they were in such extreme love with each other that they were able even to sacrifice their own Christian religion, and it has some kind of magical power over their souls and over their hearts. It was having some kind of magical power they were unable even to think of separations. So it means that this love was having a very profound impact on their soul. Uh, when somebody asked Juliet to describe her love with Romeo, so Juliet even refused to describe that love because as we also some kind of find these very feelings and emotions that we don't want to describe our love with somebody because we don't want that somebody should know about our these feelings. And also because we know that we somebody when somebody is in extreme love with anybody, then he or she doesn't want to express it at any cost, and this thing shows that she or he is in extreme love with his or her beloved. Now the next thing Shakespeare wanted to say, and we also feel the same thing, that we cannot use any kind of metaphor to describe love. If somebody says and come up with this idea that love is a flower, so flower doesn't convey the exact and the precise meaning of love, because a flower can be withered, it can fade away with the passage of time, but love is such kind of thing that it is preserved, and even after the death of the lovers and the beloved, people talk about them, they write about them, so it means that it has some kind of posthumous effect, and it cannot be. Next thing, so if I will say that love is fire, so then that metaphor is still insufficient to describe love, because if I will say that somebody is burning in the fire of love, so then this metaphor doesn't convey the right meaning and the right sense regarding love. Their love, as we know that most of the time in our society, in Pakistan and in Indo-Pak, because we don't know so much about the law affair in other countries, because we are living in Indo-Pakistan and in Pakistan, so we know that most of the time law and law affair in Pakistan and in here in this area brings the families together. But here the case was opposite. Love between Romeo and Juliet brings chaos, disorder, separation, and hate, extreme patience, and then one moment come when they are going to commit suicide. They are going to take suicidal actions just because they know that one is going to die or one is dead. So now the other was unable to bear and to stand and tolerate the shock of the other death. And then the other also take the same kind of suicidal action so that he can go to the other world and he or she can meet his or her beloved. So they also in the end take suicidal actions, and their suicide shows that they wanted to preserve their love, and they even give their life, give their life just in their defense of love. So this was just simple theme, and you should also think about your own society, about two person. You can visualize some kind of two persons who are in love with each other, and then the intense feeling, because you should think that the love between Romeo and Juliet was a failure. They didn't marry, you can say, each other, and for this purpose they laid their lives down. They sacrificed their love, they took suicide actions, and so you can think about such kind of love which was totally a failure, and then you can think about the consequences of that very love, and then you will come to know that what kind of love was there between Romeo and Juliet. I hope that you will have got some idea regarding the theme of Romeo and Juliet. Thanks.